complete further. Okay, so once again, a very good morning all. People, today we are here to have the major discussions on your assignments. That's your first part of discussion. And continuing with that one, we'll just move on with the unit 2, where you are having verbal and non-verbal communications as a part of your building your personal brand, building yourself as a personal brand. So those concepts, we'll just start looking at those things. First primary element is the uploading of your video. So I asked you for a 60-second video where how do you want to brand yourself? Hopefully the video is ready and it is being instructed throughout all your previous sessions. I'll share you this. Okay, people, if you just look at your chat box, you'll be finding one Google form link. So in that link, I asked for 4 information majorly. One is your name, your roll number, and your email ID, followed by your link, which means I asked you that you people have to uh, upload your video in your respective drives. So that drives link has to be posted in that video. Because if I start getting the videos as a file, probably that would be a little larger for me and I may not able to access all immediately. So to replace that one, what we can do is kindly do click on this particular Google form link, kindly upload the forms. And again, if uploading this form, it has to happen only from your official ID, that is your roll number at krishnanidhi.com. Don't even your platform, it is Google Chrome, if it is open in your personal IDs, this link might not work. So kindly do upload that only by using your official mail ID. That is your roll number at krishnanidhi.com. Right? So people, if you can click on the link and you can let me know whether you are able to access the link. Someone can click on the link and try to see whether you are able to do it. If your videos are already uploaded there on the Google Drive, copy the link and you can post it immediately. Right? Anyway, the link is open with me. So I will start looking the link shortly. And your second part of the assignment is still pending us because the topics has to be sent. The topics are ready. It's a big Google sheet. I'll share it with you. So for across your name, you can find your topics. Right? So the OE list, kindly do check whether you're part of that existing list. And if at all you're having any issues in tracking of your attendance or your participating in the meeting of the OE classes and all, so kindly do sort it out. And from today onwards, the Google Sheets will be shared and the assignment topics would be there individually across your name. Kindly do start doing a 5-page write-up or a pictorial representation or any form where how you have to represent it so creatively or innovatively. Right? So that's your task number 2. People, were you all able to access the link? Were you all able to access the link? Can anyone respond on the chat? If at all you are able to access the link. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay, fine. I'm just getting a few response. A little slower, I think. So just getting quicker responses, right? Okay, guys. Thank you. Thanks. So start uploading your videos. By evening, you'll be getting your assignment topics and take another 4-5 days for you to complete that particular task. And that has to be submitted to me as a hard copy because you are having a write-up or a pictorial representation. So that has to be submitted. If you wanted to do it in the blue book is also absolutely fine. Blue book, A4 sheet, there is no any difference. If at all you wanted to do it in a blue book, it's better. If at all you have to do it pictorially, take a printout of the picture and you can paste it in the blue books. That is also absolutely fine. Write up also, you can do it in the blue book itself. So shall we freeze it as a blue book for your assignment part? Right? So don't want A4 sheets. Let's do it in the blue book itself. If it is okay, then we will freeze up that one. So take a blue book. Let's do your assignment. Posting of pictures, or you can schematically you can sketch it also. If at all you are very good, you are very good in drawings and art forms and all, you can sketch also. That is also not a problem. But that the context should be related to the concept. I mean the topic what I give for you. So kindly do check for that one also. Right, so you can start uploading this. Anyway, I'm just having my video links here, so quickly you can get yourself using the link, you can start posting your message. So, uploading your videos. Okay, now let's get started with the class. So, in the personal branding, rightly, we started in the last class where we had discussions on your verbal and non-verbal. So, for developing your verbal communication, why this verbal communication? Very simple. when we when we start building ourselves as a personal brand, communication is a major role. Communication plays a major role. So when it comes to a communication part, obviously I need to concentrate more on the etiquettes, right? So what are the certain etiquettes I need to follow when I have verbal communication and when I have non-verbal communication, right? So non-verbal communication is obviously when you're verbally talking, certain body movements and the postures can convey certain meaning to the people or people who are observing, right? If you look at people who are if you look at the people who are talking, no, the TED talks or any random talks. If you look at that, you can observe people are using a lot of attractive and impressive words, right? So those will make them a greater brand, right? So that way it is so cognitive that if you use appropriate communication or appropriate language, you can make yourself as a personal brand. People will recognize you based on the language what you're talking, right? So that way it gives you emphasis on that. Today we are just going to have a small video track, right? So in that particular video track, what we observe is a person named Harsha Bogle. How many of you have heard about him, guys? Harsha Bogle. How many of you have heard about Harsha Bogle? Can anyone say who's Harsha Bogle? Nitin asked for where is the link? Can anyone let me know Harsha Bogle? Have you heard about this person? There are many critics. Critics meaning one particular concept they will keep on reviewing it. For example, cricket, former cricketer Aryan. I don't think he's a cricketer, but he's a cricket critic, I would say. Right? Meaning, I've never seen. I seldom see him playing, but again, he talks more about cricket. He has got a long. He got a very huge history of cricket has been closely observed by, and he once did a talk in TED, right? And he was talking about cricket. Um, that particular talk we'll observe, and let's see how he becomes or he branded himself as one of the a famous personality uh, as a cricketer, right? So as a cricket critic, Esther, correct, you are. He's a commentator. People would have observed that. He's very good in commenting, right? And commentating and all your historic events and all. He and Ravi Shastri would be the two people who will do it. So obviously, this particular video, I'm not sure how girls would be enjoying it. People who really like cricket, boys and girls, who even likes cricket, they'll enjoy this particular video. But it's not about uh, the video. It's all about the content, how he presents himself. If you are a movie critic and if you wanted to brand yourself as some sort of a critic personality, then how do you brand yourself? So to know that one, we can use this kind of TED talks, right? And just go listen to as many TED talks as possible, guys, because you will get an observation. Okay, these are the people who are branding themselves as um a certain part of their lifestyle, right? As what they are. So now let's hold here. Let me share the video and we'll just open that video and we'll just continue on that. We'll talk over on the video. Very good. So, coronavirus from last year, all the world we have faced the coronavirus because the genome is the outbreak, right? We have a season that does that's what we are we are seeing usually also coronavirus. But virus is one of the general coronavirus. People hold on for a minute. People listen to this video, just observe certain things. People were you able to clearly hear that one? Audio is clear. Can anyone respond on the chat, please? Does the video comes out with the audio part also? Can you hear it? I'll play it now. So kindly just observe and let me know whether you're able. Audio, you're not able to listen. One second, one second.
Opera.
People, now it is audible. Were you all able to hear that from the introduction part where you mean that the logo launch part? Were you able to hear it with audio? Yes. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Thank you. Thanks for this. Okay, now listen to the video. Just observe what he talks and look at the way he narrates the whole story. Okay. The topic of this particular talk is rise of cricket and rise of India. Right? How India's rise was compared with the cricket's rise. Right? So that's really wonderful, and you'll be observing certain good things. Let's see how it goes.
So what I'm going to do is just give you the latest episode of India's, maybe the world's longest running soap opera, which is cricket. And may it run forever because it gives people like me a living. It's got everything that you'd want a normal soap opera to want. It's got love, joy, happiness, sadness, tears, laughter, lots of deceit, intrigue. And like all good soaps, it jumps 20 years when the audience interest changes. And that's exactly what cricket has done. It's jumped 20 years into a 20-over game. And that's what I'm going to talk about, how a small change leads to a very big revolution. But we weren't always like that. Cricket wasn't always this speed-driven generations game. There was a time when you played cricket, you played timeless test matches. When you played on till the game got over. And there was this game in March 1939 that started on the 3rd of March and ended on the 14th of March. And it only ended because the English cricketers had to go from Durban to Cape Town, which is a 2-hour train journey, to catch the ship that left on the 17th because the next ship wasn't around for a long time. So the match was ended in between. And one of the English batsmen said, you know what, another half an hour and we would have won. Another half an hour after 12 days. There were 2 Sundays in between, but of course, Sundays are church days. So you don't play on Sundays. And one day it rained, so they all sat around making friends with each other. But there's a reason why India fell in love with cricket, because we had about the same pace of life. The Mahabharata was like that as well, wasn't it? You fought by day, then it was sunset, so everyone went back home. And then you worked out your strategy and you came and fought the next day and then you went back home again. The only difference between the Mahabharata and our cricket was that in cricket, everybody was alive to come back and fight the next day. Princes patronized the game, not because they loved the game, but because it was a means of ingratiating themselves to the British rulers. But there's one other reason why India fell in love with cricket, which is all you needed was a plank of wood and a rubber ball, and any number of people could play it anywhere. Take a look. You could play it in the dump with some rocks over there. You could play it in a little alley. You couldn't hit square anywhere because the bat hit the wall. Don't forget the air conditioning and the cable wires. You could play it on the banks of the Ganga. That's the cleanest the Ganga's been for a long time. Or you could play many games in one small patch of land, even if you didn't know which game you were actually in. As you can see, you can play anywhere. But slowly the game moved on, you know. Finally, you don't always have 5 days. So we moved on and we started playing 50-over cricket. And then an enormous accident took place. In Indian sport, we don't make things happen. Accidents happen and we're in the right place at the right time sometimes. And we won this World Cup in 1983. And suddenly we fell in love with the 50-over game and we played it virtually every day. There was more 50-overs cricket than anywhere. But there was another big date. 1983 was when we won the World Cup. 1991-92, we found a finance minister and a prime minister willing to let the world look at India, rather than be this great country of intrigue and mystery and this closed country. And so we allowed multinationals into India. We cut customs duties, we reduced import duties, and we got all the multinationals coming in with multinational budgets who looked at per capita income and got very excited about the possibilities in India and were looking for a vehicle to reach every Indian. And there's only 2 vehicles in India, one real, one scripted. The scripted one is what you see in the movies. The real one was cricket. And so one of my friends sitting right here in front of me, Ravi.
People will hold this video. We'll just continue thereof. Okay, till now, how many different subjects did Harsha Bhogle touch up? Anyone, can you come out with your idea? How many different subjects he touched upon? Don't say he spoke only cricket. No, but he has touched on a lot of things. What all you have observed till now is, how many different subjects Harsha Bhogle did he touch upon? Can you revert on the chat, yes? Is fun element part of this talk about Mahabharata, which is history, right? Epics. Yes, Sneha. Very good. Sneha sir wrote. Mahabharata he spoke, and Mahabharata was compared with cricket. That was a highlight of the particular talk. Okay, very good. So Susan is correct. History was one subject he was talking. Next. I observed air conditioning wires. Okay, Mohammed. History he observed, and history he didn't talk only about history of cricket. Very good. Politics he touched upon. Susan, you're right. Politics he touched upon. One more subject is also has a clear touch on this one. What is that? It's not sport. Cricket is all over through. Other than that, how many of you feel he touched on economics? How many of you feel he had a touch on the economics? Because 1991-92 is where India started globalizing things. Yes, business he spoke about. Very good. Brilliant, Susan. Business he spoke about. Anything else? Business, economics, politics, history. And everywhere he spoke more about, or he has got a slighter humorous touch on everything. Did you people observe that one? There was a humor on every basic content he started. And it is not purely humorous also. And he had little more, a serious issue also was there. Are you observing that? So this is what I want you people to observe. So now if someone asks, how do you brand a Harsha Bhogle? Right? Can we again come out to the same element called he's a cricket critic? Now our mindset, or now our idea about Harsha Bhogle is having a changeover. He is not a normal person who talks only cricket. He is able to match all the other subjects with cricket. He can match economics with cricket, politics with cricket, Mahabharata with cricket. And he is also saying that how the transformation of cricket has happened. So, though he is having a main channel or main stream of thought is or relying on cricket, but he's still revolving around all the subjects. People, am I making sense here? Are you able to get this point? So that is how he started this particular TED Talk. Okay, now let's go back to the video again. Let's observe this little more.
Ravi Dhariwal from Pepsi decided he's going to take it all over the world, and Pepsi was this big revolution because they started taking cricket all over. And so cricket started becoming big, cricket started bringing riches in, television started covering cricket. For a long time, television said, we won't cover cricket unless you pay us to cover it. Then they said, okay, the next rights were sold for $55 million, the next right was sold for $612 million. So it's a bit of a curve, that. And then another big accident happened in our cricket. England invented 20 overs cricket and said the world must play 20 overs cricket, just as England invented cricket and made the rest of the world play it. Thank God for them. And so India had to go and play the T20 World Cup, you see. India didn't want to play the T20 World Cup, but we were forced to play by an 8-1 margin, and then something very dramatic happened. We got to the final, and then this moment that will remain enshrined forever for everybody. Take a look. The Pakistani batsman
takes it! India win! What a match for a 2020 final. India, the world champions.
India T20 champions. But what a game we had. MS Dhoni got it right in the end, but Misbah ul Haq, what a player.
A massive, massive success. India, the world TT champions.
Suddenly, India discovered this power of 20 overs cricket. The accident, of course, there was the batsman thought the bowler was bowling fast. If he had bowled fast, the ball would have gone where it was meant to go, but it didn't go. And we suddenly discovered that we could be good at this game. And what it also did was it led to a certain pride in the fact that India could be the best in the world. It was at a time when investment was coming in, India was feeling a little more confident about itself. And so there was a feeling that there's a great pride in what we can do. And thankfully for all of us, the English are very good at inventing things. And the gracious people that they are, they let the world become very good at it. And so England invented T20 cricket and allowed India to hijack it. It was not like re-engineering that we do in medicine. We just took it straight away as is. And so we launched our own T20 leagues. 6 weeks, city versus city. It was a new thing for us. We had only ever supported our country. There were only 2 areas in which India was very proud about their country representing itself on the field. One was war, the Indian army, which you don't like to happen very often. The other was Indian cricket. Now suddenly we had to support city leagues, but the people getting into these city leagues were people who'd taken their cues from the West. America's a home of leagues. And they said, right, we'll build some glitzy leagues here in India. But was India ready for it? Because cricket for a long time in India was always organized. It was never promoted. It was never sold. It was organized. And look what they did with our beautiful, nice, simple family game. All of a sudden, you had that happening.
Being fit isn't only about looking fit. Tetley Green Tea Immune. Green tea की goodness अब added vitamin C की immunity bar.
An opening ceremony to match every other. This was in India that was buying Chorus. This was in India that was buying Jaguar. This was in India that was adding more mobile phones per month than New Zealand's population twice over. So it was a different India, but it was also a slightly more orthodox India that was very happy to be modern, but didn't want to say that to people. And so they were aghast when the cheerleaders arrived. Everyone secretly watched them, but everyone claimed not to. The new owners of Indian cricket were not the old princes. They were not bureaucrats who were forced into sport because they didn't actually love it. These were people who ran serious companies. And so they started promoting cricket big time, started promoting clubs big time, and they've started promoting them with huge money behind it. I mean, the IPL had $2.3 billion before a ball was bowled. $1.6 billion for television revenue over 10 years, and another $70 million plus from all these franchises that were putting in money. And then they had to appeal to their cities, but they had to do it like the West, right? Because we were setting up leagues. But what they were very good at doing was making it very localized. So just to give you an example of how they did it, not Manchester United style promotion, but very Mumbai style promotion. Take a look. Of course, a lot of people said maybe they dance better than they play. But that's all right. What it did also was it changed the way we looked at cricket. All along, if you wanted a young cricketer, you picked him up from the by-lanes of your own little locality, your own city, and you were very proud of the system that produced those cricketers. Now, all of a sudden, if you're a bowler shot, if Mumbai were a bowler shot, for example, they needn't go to Kalwa Devi or Shivaji Park or somewhere to source him. They could go to Trinidad. This was the new India, wasn't it? This is the new world, where you can source from anywhere as long as you get the best product at the best price. And all of a sudden, Indian sport had awakened to the reality that you can source the best product for the best price anywhere in the world. So the Mumbai Indians flew in Dwayne Bravo from Trinidad and Tobago overnight. And when he had to go back to represent the West Indies, they asked him, when do you have to reach? He said, I have to be there by a certain time, so I have to leave today. And we said, no, no, no. It's not about when you have to leave. It's about when do you have to reach there. And so he said, I've got to reach on date X. And they said, fine, you play date X minus 1. So he played in Hyderabad, went straight after the game, went from the stadium to Hyderabad airport, sat in a private corporate jet, first refueling in Portugal, second refueling in Brazil. He was in West Indies in time. Never would India have thought on this scale before. Never would India have said, I want a player to play one game for me, and I will use a corporate jet to send him all the way back to Kingston, Jamaica, to play a game. And I just thought to myself, wow, we've arrived somewhere in the world, you know? We've arrived somewhere. We're thinking big. But what this also did was it started marrying the two most important things in Indian cricket, which is cricket and the movies in Indian entertainment. It was cricket and the movies, and they came together because people in the movies now started owning clubs. And so people started going to the cricket to watch Preity Zinta. They started going to the cricket to watch Shah Rukh Khan. And something very interesting happened. We started getting song and dance in Indian cricket. And so it started resembling the Indian movies more and more. And of course, if you're in Preity Zinta's team, as you will see on the clip that follows, if you did well, you got a hug from Preity Zinta. So that was the ultimate reason to do well. Take a look. Everyone watching Preity Zinta. And then, of course, there was Shah Rukh playing the Kolkata crowd. We'd all seen matches in Kolkata. We'd never seen anything like this. Shah Rukh with the Bengali song, getting the audiences all worked up for Kolkata. Not for India, but for Kolkata. But take a look at this. Indian film star hugging a Pakistani cricketer because they'd won in Kolkata. Can you imagine? And you know what the Pakistani cricketer said? I wish I was playing for Preity Zinta's team. But I thought I'd take this opportunity. There's a few people from Pakistan in here. I'm so happy that you're here because I think we can show that we can work together and be friends, right? We can play cricket together, we can be friends. So thank you very much for coming, all of you from Pakistan. There was criticism too, because they said players are being bought and sold. Are they grain? Are they cattle? Because we had this auction, you see. How do you fix a price for a player? And so the auction that followed literally had people saying, bang, so many $1 million for so-and-so player. There it is.
Going out $1,500,000. Chennai. Shane Warne. He sold $450,000.
Suddenly, a game which earned its players 50 rupees a day, so 250 rupees for a test match, but if you finish in 4 days, you only got 200. The best Indian players who played every test match, every one-day international, the top-of-the-line players, central contracts are $220,000 in a whole year. Now they were getting $500,000 for 6 days' work. Then Andrew Flintoff came by from England. He got $1.5 million, and he went back and said, for 4 weeks, I'm earning more than Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard, and I'm earning more than the footballers. Wow. And where was he earning it from? From a little club in India. Could you ever imagine that day would come? $1.5 million for 6 weeks' work. That's not bad, is it? So, as I said, $2.3 billion before the first ball was bowled. What India was doing, though, was benchmarking itself against the best in the world, and it became a huge brand. Lalit Modi was on the cover of Business Today. IPL became the biggest brand in India. And because of our elections, had to be moved to South Africa, and we had to start the tournament in 3 weeks. Move a whole tournament to South Africa in 3 weeks. But we did it. You know why? Because no country in the world works as slowly as we do till 3 weeks before an event. And nobody works as fast as we do in the last 3 weeks. Our population, which for a long time we thought was a problem, suddenly became our biggest asset because there were more people watching, the huge consuming class, everybody came to watch the cricket. But also made cricket the only sport in India, which is a pity, but in India, every other sport pushes cricket to become big, which is a bit of a tragedy of our times. Now, just last minute before I go, there's a couple of side effects of all this. For a long time, India was this country of poverty, dust, beggars, snake charmers, filth, Delhi belly. People wrote Delhi belly stories before they came. And all of a sudden, India was this land of opportunity. Cricketers all over the world said, you know, we love India. We love to play in India. And that felt good, you know. We said the dollar's quite powerful, actually. Can you imagine? You've got the dollar on view, and there's no Delhi belly in India anymore. There's no filth, there's no beggars, all the snake charmers have vanished, everybody is gone. Just tells you how the capitalist world rules. Right, so, finally, an English game that India usurped a little bit, but T20 is going to be the next missionary in the world. If you want to take the game around the world, it's got to be the shortest form of the game. You can't take a timeless test to China and say play 14 days with no result in the end, or you can't take it all over the world. So that's what T20 is doing. Hopefully it'll make everyone richer, hopefully it'll make the game bigger, and hopefully it'll give cricket commentators more time in the business. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so people, let's get back on personal branding. How many of you enjoyed this video, guys? People really enjoyed it? I'm not sure how many of you enjoyed. Hello? Bezalel, can you just unmute yourself?
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Sir,
Tell me, what is it? You're not able to hear me?
able to hear you.
Yes, Bezalel, can you come again? I'm not able to hear you clearly. Can you put it on the chat? Your voice is breaking and I'm not able to hear you clearly.
Sir, I'm Vikram, not Bizalis.
Okay, okay. But again, I can just couldn't see that one. One second. Okay, Vikram, Nitya Angel, okay. Tell me, Vikram, what is it? You're not able to hear me or?
Yeah. Sir, I was saying the video was good, sir. I think
Okay, okay, wonderful. Thank you.
it should be good storytelling.
Good. Brilliant.
Yeah. But he was telling a very good story that kept the
Yes.
audience engaged. Even the person
Truly.
who
Wonderful. Okay, now let's go back to let us decode that personal branding with respect to this particular video what we have seen. If you're looking at this particular talk throughout, if at all I believe that Harsha Bhogle is a person who is having too much of humorous nature, even that is being proven, right? Throughout the talk, he was having jokes all over the top, and every single joke, it was a political joke, economic joke, and it was I would call it as um,
Good satire.
irrational. Yeah, and it was jokes across borders also, and he touched upon little jokes which are, if it is little more triggered, it could have lead to some serious issues also. But it was joke only, and he knows the line where it is a joke. One more slighter movement after the joke, it is not a joke; it is a serious issue. When talking about Pakistan, when you're talking about West Indies player traveling from India to another state within a fraction of time where he has to quickly decide on to travel. So now these elements and all, he was able to keep it on track where people were convinced and people were accepting to what he's saying, right? And looking at the language part, the language is not complicated at all. He has not used any huge jargons. He has not used any ununderstandable word, or he has never used throughout the talk. If you clearly observe, he never went out of the track of discussion, right? Rise of India and the rise of Nitya Angel. Could you please unmute yourself? And I can just hear some voice in the background. If you can, yeah, thank you. So he was on track throughout, right? He never moved out from not understanding any one of the context, and the flow of talk or the flow of the narration, as Vikram was saying, the narration was flawless. Where people for the 17 to 18 minutes, they never moved out of the context. He was throughout. He was there in the correct context of cricket. And if you look at the pitching areas, where and all he identified that it has got a rise, right? Where it has got rise. Transformation of test cricket to one day to T20 to IPL, there was lot of business evolutions happening, right? The pitch was on the business also. And many personalities are being brought in. How many of you have observed that? He spoke about Preeti Zinta, he spoke about Shah Rukh Khan, he spoke about Dwayne Bravo. Many personalities, film stars, celebrities, all are being part of this particular event. How many of you accept that he spoke about finance? IPL auction is nothing but a capital budgeting, a financial concept, right? Hopefully, people will not understand because financial budgeting. I'm not sure how many of you have known that particular concept. Financial budgeting or capital budgeting is very simple, where we are trying to uh, assess the value of the current project in the future. In future, how much could be the current value? If you observe closely, players are evaluated like that, right? Based on their budget, based on their capital budgeting only. If I spend 7 crores on Dhoni right now, how much he can yield me after 4 or 5 years of game he's playing for IPL? Finance involved. And if you look at the throughout the narration, he has maintained a poised body language. He was not hyped. He didn't show any sort of other emotions than smiling. Though he was saying that people were having disbelief on India. India was a land where India, once upon a time, that was long back, India was called as a place of snake charms. Because in Indian streets, in north and many of the east and western parts, and even down south also, there are one common job which has been found all over is nothing but snake charming. So if you look at older James Bond movies also, you can clearly observe people are identified as India as a snake charms. Filth. Filth meaning a lot of dust and a lot of poor quality people, or the quality of the lifestyle of the people are very poor. So that is a mindset which was there, and that was eroded. And but when he was saying that one, he never showed any sort of emotion on the face. Right? He was trying to say that you people have thought like that, that's fine. But now we are moved to the next level. So he was concentrating on that transformation part only. He never showed any sort of emotions on that. Right? And he never showed any sort of discouragement from the people. For few jokes, people have not laughed. I'm not sure how many of you have observed that. 1 or 2, 3 jokes of his thing. when he was in the narration, people have not taken it very awfully, or people were not saying it. It's a fantastic joke where we can laugh about it. That was not there, but still he didn't worry about it. He moved on to the next. So on the stage speaking, or if you wanted to build yourself as a personality who talks more, who conveys more, then you have to have this kind of relevance here. Keep moving from your script to one end to the next one. Don't rely too much on the same script where people have not reacted as you expected. So when you're a performer, you have to do that. People might react to the unwanted elements, and people might not react to the expected ones. So there is no any point of staying on the same plan. You have to keep moving to the next one, right? So that we call it as your in your narration, or if you're branding yourself through your communication elements, you have to have this habit of moving on from the existing changeover of narrations that you have to observe closely. Yes. So now coming back to this, now if at all we are asking what sort of personality is Harsha Bhogle, we can ask him, or we can talk him, or we can tell him that he's a very good TED Talk person, or he's a very good economist, or he's a very good financial person. But all he's knowing is only cricket, and all the other concepts are conveyed through cricket. So cricket is a main arena, and it is not that he's only a person who is a cricket critic. He observes the country on the whole. He has got a great level of observation, right? How many of you have understand this? How many of you have observed that he spoke about every situations where he was in, right? When Shah Rukh Khan was hugging Shoaib Akhtar, that didn't happen because Shah Rukh Khan reacted very badly when Shoaib Akhtar was taking wicket of Sachin Tendulkar during 1997 Test cricket, 1908 cricket. Okay, so during 2000 and all, that was the famous war, 2006, 2003, I think so. Johannesburg Test match, where Waqar Younis and Shoaib Akhtar, they were punishing. Sachin and Sehwag were punishing Waqar and Shoaib. Their balls were being mercilessly hit all over the park. So at that time, it was a changeover phase. Look at the instances he brought. Right? He didn't talk everything which is nothing out of the context, nothing out of the history. Right? He slowly pitched in one after the other instance. And all the time when he narrates or when he comments on English cricket or Britain's cricket, and it was been told very softly, and people are ready to accept that. They invented cricket, and we hijacked it from them, and we excelled on that. Indians have that particular quality. When he was saying that, people were readily accepting that. They never said, okay, it's not like that. Because till last, Ben Stokes hit that wrong ball to the fore. England has never won any of the World Cups. Okay, till that moment. So cricket was invented 1939 as per Harsha Bhogle's count. Right? Endless matches. Right? Till the match, the results come out, they used to play. So that way, from there, look at the movement here. So till then, England were not able to win anything. Of course, World Cup started only after 1970s. But even then, they were not able to take that much time. 60 years of cricket, one World Cup, it is not great for the country who invented that cricket. Right? But it was being told in such a way, people are ready to accept that. It was not being told controversially. Right? So that is observation which you need to take from these talks. Right? Your the cost of the advertisement, how Pepsi has got the whole cricket transformed to India. Promotions that are happening on cricket, promotional spending, players are directly involved. Dream 11 is not recruiting any models for promoting their brands. They are purchasing cricketers. Right from Rohit Sharma, all the cricketers are there. So now when he is pointing it out that, so it is clearly, it's showing the picture that his personality is having great observation mind. Right? He has got a keen observation on things that are getting transformed and changeovers. That's the identity of creating your personal brand. So when you're existing or when you're showing or proving yourself as a personal brand, create certain aspects where individuals will observe that very carefully in you. People, am I making sense here? You're able to get this? That's the importance of creating verbal etiquettes to be used. When looking at the etiquettes, right, how well groomed he is, how neatly dressed, Of course, it's a casual t-shirt on, but again, it doesn't look so odd on you. It was looking very, very absolutely fine with the costume. Right? Even if he is wearing the blazer, it's fine. But with this particular costume, he was able to impress the larger audience. Right? And again, the language part, what he has used. So wonderful. So elementary, so fundamental. There is no any bigger difficulty in the language. So what does it mean? Content makes the people to talk about you rather than the flamboyancy of the language. Right? So keep those things in your mind. Okay, guys. So in the next class, again, we'll try to meet. Hopefully, this particular link, I'll share it one more time for people, those who have not uploaded the video here. I'll share it one more time and I'll put it in the group also. So Hari sir will be sharing it, the same link in the group for uploading your video. And your Google Sheets also will be sent it in your WhatsApp group, and you people can start preparing on the individual topics which is given. Thank you guys. See you all again in the next class. Bye.
I didn't hear properly.
Which one you didn't get it? Vikram, the assignment part which I was saying, no? So the assignment part, video, it has to be uploaded in the link which I've shared, and your write-up and creative assignment and individual topics allocation will be done through the Google Sheets. So that also will be sent to you by email. So you can start preparing on that. Okay, once after that list is shared, we'll have a discussion in the next class.
Okay.
Okay, guys, thank you. See you all in the next class. Bye.